Now we come to the next sutta, 3.11.102. The Buddha said, "Now herein, monks, if there were not satisfaction to be found in the world, beings would not be attached to the world. But since there is satisfaction in the world, beings are attached thereto. But if there were not misery in the world, beings would not be repelled by the world. But since there is misery in the world, beings are repelled by the world. If there were no escape from the world, beings could not escape therefrom. But since there is an escape from the world, beings do escape therefrom. Now monks, insofar as beings have not fully come to know, as it really is, the satisfaction in the world as such, the misery therein as misery, the escape therefrom as such, just so far have they not dwelt free from, detached from, released from, with unrestricted mind from the world, the Devas, the Maras, the Brahmas, together with the host of recluses and Brahmins, of Devas and mankind. But monks, when beings have fully come to know, as it really is, the satisfaction in the world as such, the misery in the world as such, the escape from the world as such, then monks, they dwell free, detached, released from, with unrestricted mind from the world, etc., etc. Verily, monks, whatsoever recluses or Brahmins understand not as it really is, the satisfaction, the misery in the world, and the escape therefrom, such recluses and Brahmins, in my opinion, are not to be regarded as recluses among recluses, nor as Brahmins among Brahmins. Nor have those worthies come to know fully of themselves in this very life the real meaning of recluseship or of Brahminhood, nor attaining thereto do they dwell therein. But monks, whatsoever recluses and Brahmins do so understand these things, such are in my opinion to be regarded as recluses and Brahmins. Moreover, those worthies shall come to know the real meaning of recluseship and Brahminhood, they shall attain to it and abide therein." So you see, the Buddha is saying that if there were not satisfaction to be found in the world, beings would not be attached and come back again and again to the world. That's one thing. The second thing is, because there's also misery in the world, after some time there would be beings who would be sick and tired of the suffering, and they'll be repelled by the world. And then after that they will seek for a way of escape from the world, and luckily there is a way of escape from the world, so there is they are able to do so. So you see, the two things are contradictory. One is satisfaction in the world, and the other one is misery in the world. And so these two things are contradictory, and we want to keep on enjoying the pleasures in the world, but at the same time we are suffering. We are paying for the pleasures we get out of this world by suffering. So after some time, then after many lifetimes, we realize it's not worth the price. Then only we think of getting out of the world. Now we come to the next sutta, which is 3.11.101. The Buddha said, "Before my enlightenment, monks, when I was yet but a bodhisattva, this occurred to me. What, I wonder, is the satisfaction in the world? What is the misery in the world? What is the escape therefrom?" I'll just stop here to talk about this bodhisattva. Sometimes in the suttas, the Buddha says that when he was still a bodhisattva, before his enlightenment. So this term bodhisattva, there's nothing special about the term bodhisattva. It just refers to the state of a person before he becomes enlightened. And enlightened means becoming a Buddha or an Arahant, because the Buddha himself is called an Arahant, just like he's called a Buddha. The difference only is that the Buddha is self-enlightened, whereas an Arahant, he makes use of the Dhamma taught by a Buddha. Then he becomes enlightened. So this word bodhisattva later was developed, and a lot of things talked about the bodhisattva. Whereas in our Theravada early suttas, bodhisattva just means a term of a person before he is enlightened. And it is in the suttas it does appear that a bodhisattva can be an Arya. It's not that a bodhisattva, it must be a Putujahana, an ordinary person, can be a Arya, for example, a Sotapanna, comes back, and then the last life he becomes a Buddha or Arahant. Then to continue, the Buddha said, "Then monks, this occurred to me, that condition in the world owing to which pleasure arises, owing to which arises happiness, that is the satisfaction in the world. That impermanence, that suffering, that changeability in the world, that is the misery in the world. That restraint, that riddance of desire and passion for the world, that is the escape therefrom. So long, monks, as I did not thoroughly comprehend as it really is the satisfaction in the world as such, the misery in the world as such, the escape therefrom as such, so long did I not discern the meaning of being enlightened with perfect enlightenment, unsurpassed in the world with its devas, its maras and brahmas, together with the hosts of recluses and brahmins, of devas and mankind. But monks, when I fully comprehended as it really is the satisfaction in the world as such, the misery in the world as such, the escape therefrom as such, then did I discern the meaning of being enlightened in the world. Then did knowledge and insight arise in me thus, sure is my liberation by mind. This is my last birth. Now is there no more becoming again." Yeah, that's all about this sutta. There's another bit more, but it's a corollary, so I won't repeat it. So here the Buddha is saying there is satisfaction in the world because of pleasure in the world. And then because of impermanence, there is suffering in the world, there is a misery in the world. And then the escape out of the world is the getting rid of the desire and passion for the world.